Hello, my name is Matthew, and I am the Product Engagement Specialist for the Convey Global Disclosure System. Welcome to this video walkthrough of the Convey application. During this video, I will provide a brief overview of the service, followed by a walkthrough on how to submit a disclosure through the system. Convey is a place of record for conflict of interest disclosures for scientific, technical, and medical publishers, societies, and academic medical centers. Convey is a new service belonging to the Association of American Medical Colleges, also known as AAMC. Founded in 1876, the AAMC has been serving the medical community for 143 years. The AAMC supports 172 accredited U.S. and Canadian medical schools and over 400 teaching hospitals. The AAMC is a reputable source for services such as the AMCAS and ERIS applications, along with administering the MCAT examination. As part of the AAMC's mission to improve the health of all, the association also partners with over 73 academic societies through its Council of Faculty and Academic Societies group. In 2009, an Institute of Medicine discussion paper described the structure of a centralized and streamlined process for the disclosure of financial interests. Shortly after the paper was released, an IOM working group asked the AAMC to develop a centralized system. The association worked with representatives from three key groups: scientific journals, medical schools or universities, and continuing medical education programs, to develop and continually test what is now known as Convey. The core tenets of Convey are to improve user experience, to create efficiencies both for individual disclosures and the individuals collecting and reviewing those disclosures, provide a singular repository for individual disclosures to store and edit their industry relationships, and to introduce disclosure collection standards into the process. The Convey application allows for significant levels of customization to meet the various needs of our client organizations. Each client has the ability to tailor the collection of their disclosures in Convey based on their individual disclosure requirements. The Convey core tenets are supported through the establishment of collaborative relationships and integrations with external software systems and developers of industry standards, including the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, Ethos CE, and ARIES Editorial Manager. The Convey system is currently integrated with both Ethos CE and ARIES Editorial Manager, and our service works closely with the ICMJE to offer and collect the most recent versions of their disclosure form. As of April 2021, there have been over 14,500 users of the system, over 23,000 disclosures submitted, 20 plus clients supporting a variety of units within their respective organizations, such as publications, CME, and governance, and 3 partner integrations, including ARIES Editorial Manager. Lastly, the Convey application is currently hosted on the Amazon Web Services cloud computing platform. As you can see from this snapshot of our participating organizations, we are aligned with societies, journals, academic medical centers, and combination societies and journals. Now I will cover how to log into Convey and submit a disclosure. To access Convey, you will need to create a free AAMC account. It is a simple account creation process that only takes a few moments to complete. Once you have your AAMC username and password, you will be able to sign in and access your disclosure. Upon first signing in to Convey, all users must agree to the Convey terms and conditions before being allowed to proceed forward. As stated earlier, Convey has worked with the ICMJE to translate their most recent disclosure PDF into our system. This form is one of the multiple options available to our subscribing organizations. It is available as is, or it can be further tailored to more accurately meet the disclosure needs of your organization. Convey is very flexible, and subscribers can build their own form or a custom version of the ICMJE form. In general, users can access disclosure forms in Convey in one of 3 ways. First, via a unique invitation email. Second, via a Convey-generated web link or URL, and third, via the public search function which is found on the main menu of the Convey application. For this particular walkthrough, I have accessed the sample ICMJE policy version 2 via the Convey generated web link. Please note that all disclosures within Convey follow the same 4-step submission process. Users must read through the Policy Details tab, complete the Enter Interest tab, complete the Additional Questions tab, and finally review and send their disclosure. The requirements for each step of the submission process, however, are customized by each individual organization in order to meet their collection needs. The Policy Details page first lists out the organization's, in this case ICMJE's, policy and instructions for submitting a disclosure. This section is tailored by the organization specifically for their disclosures. It is very important that disclosures read through the policy to understand what is being asked, what information should be included, and what information should not be included within a submitted disclosure. Users must navigate to the bottom of the screen and click Save and Continue in order to move forward with the disclosure submission. The disclosure identifier for ICMJE is either the email address or the user's ORCID ID. Please note that Convey is integrated with ORCID and will allow you to sign in and retrieve your ORCID ID, or alternatively create and then retrieve your ORCID ID for your disclosure submission. The purpose here has been pre-filled for this walkthrough, which is why the entry field for disclosure purpose is grayed out. Once you click Save and Continue, you will move into the Enter Interest tab. The system will ask if you have anything to disclose. Users will be able to either add an interest or indicate they have nothing to disclose. Let's select Added Interest. The system will ask if the interest is related to a company or organization, or if the interest is intellectual property. For this example, I will select company or organization. Convey will then allow you to search for the entity under which you can enter the interest. Please note that the searchable entities available for selection are taken from both the CMS Open Payments Database and the Crossref Funder Registry. I'll search for the Association of American Medical Colleges. Please note that if an entity is not found through the search, it is possible for a user to manually add and save the entity into the system. Once an entity is selected, users will be prompted to select an interest type. The system offers 3 groupings of interest types to select from: professional services, financial stake, and financial support. Convey also offers help links to advise users on which interest type to select based on their role. In this instance, I will select the employment interest type, which is a common interest type that many disclosures will include in their disclosures. It is located under the Professional Services column on the Enter Interest tab. Now I will need to enter the details of the employment interest. Note that the interest details that appear here are specific to the sample ICMJE policy version 2, but there are many more potential interest details to select from, and we can work with your organization to specify which interest details you would like your disclosures to fill out. Interest details with a red asterisk are required by the organization, and a disclosure must fill them out in order to proceed with the submission of their disclosure. Interest details that do not have a red asterisk are requested pieces of information that are optional for the disclosure to fill out. Clicking Save Interest will bring users to a new page that will display the interest details included in their disclosure, while Save and Add an Interest will allow users to select an entity and add a new interest. And as you can see, the employment interest held by myself for the Association of American Medical Colleges is now saved in my disclosure. I've gone ahead and added a few more interests to my disclosure. On the Enter Interest tab, The interests included in this disclosure submission will appear in the blue box. These 5 interests, if they remain in the blue box, will be visible by the organization to which I am submitting my disclosure. In this case, ICMJE. Conversely, interests not included in the disclosure submission will appear below in the orange box. You may create an interest and then determine that this interest does not need to be included in the disclosure submission. If this happens, simply click Do Not Include next to that interest in the blue box, and it will be moved down into the orange box. Conversely, you may move interests that are not included in this disclosure submission, found in the orange box, back into the blue box by clicking the Include button next to that interest. Clicking Add an Interest in the blue box will allow a user to add new interests to the disclosure. If a user adds any interests during the disclosure submission, the Convey system will automatically save those interests in their repository or library of interests. You will then be able to use those interests in any future disclosure submission made in Convey. Convey will read through your interests and sort what will be included and what will not be included based on the policy requirements. Users will have the final say, however, regarding what interests are included in their disclosure and are visible by the requesting organization. Clicking Save and Continue at the bottom of the Enter Interest tab will take users to the Additional Questions step. Here we see questions requested by ICMJE, the answers to which are specific to this disclosure. Any information you enter here will not change or add to the interest saved in the Enter Interest tab. Please note that there may be required questions which you must answer in order to save this section. I've gone ahead and filled out all of the required questions, and I'm now ready to review and submit my disclosure. The final step of the disclosure submission is the Review and Send tab. It is where you can review all of the interests that will be included in your disclosure submission and your answers to the additional questions. You will also be able to view the interests that you chose not to include in your disclosure submission. Before you finish, you must click the certification checkbox to indicate that your disclosure is complete and accurate. Once you have fully reviewed your disclosure, click Certify and Submit. At this point, you'll receive the confirmation modal stating that your disclosure has been successfully submitted. Click OK to be sent back to the main menu. On the main menu of Convey, the box on the right-hand side of the screen entitled Recently Submitted Disclosures will display the disclosure for ICMJE Policy Version 2. It also has the date on which we made the submission. By clicking View All Disclosures, I am able to enter in to my disclosure history. Here, I will be able to also see the specific date and times that I've made disclosures to any other policy within Convey. I have the option to view the submitted disclosure, as well as the option to redisclose if I needed to update information in my initial disclosure. Lastly, I am able to access my repository or library of interests by clicking My Interests at the top of the page. On the My Interests page, I will be able to view every interest or industry relationship that I've ever entered into Convey. The benefit for me as a user is that for any future disclosure submission that I need to make through Convey, I will already have a library of interests to draw upon, such that I won't have to start my disclosure from scratch. Thank you for watching. What you have seen is only a small portion of what is possible through the Convey Global Disclosure System. I hope the presentation and disclosure walkthrough has piqued your interest in terms of how Convey can benefit your organization. If you have any questions, please email the Convey team at convey@aamc.org. If you would like to discuss the system in detail, we ask that you visit our website at convey.org and click the Request Demo button. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you soon.